Perfect. All right. So let me do this. Okay, beautiful. So today we are going to be focused on defining our value. The beautiful thing about this is it's part of the framework of creating your value proposition. It is how you stay grounded in what you do and why you do it, and how you um, share your value with others. Okay. And then, as always, whenever we're starting Ignite, it's important to cover those TCPA guidelines and the do not call registry. So just make sure that you are following those guidelines when making phone calls. If you have any questions, please let me know. All right, wonderful. Okay, our course overview. We are covering the last section of our series of becoming the real estate expert, so defining our value. Today's agenda will be talking about the value proposition and what that is, what matters to buyers and sellers, and defining your value proposition. So we're actually going to work together on getting that done. And then we'll cover recaps and ahas, and we'll go over our daily success system. Okay. Okay. So your value proposition. Okay, so we're going to begin to understand what our value proposition is. Um, and I'll go one by one with each of you. Maybe we can start with Jeremy. Can you read number one? Isaac, can you read number two? And Kelsey, are you driving?
No, they actually canceled and did a delayed start, so I'm not even taking kids today. So I'm
Ah,
available. They're just here
yay.
in the background, so sorry.
Oh yeah, no, don't be sorry. That's part of life. That's what we work for. So, I will have each of you, like Jeremy, if you read number one, Isaac, you read number two, Kelsey, you read number three, and I'll take care of number four. Go for it. And if Jeremy's not available, I'll go ahead and hit number one.
I'm available. I just forgot to hit mute off.
Ah,
Sorry.
okay,
Good
go.
morning.
Good morning. I see your lovely assistant behind you.
Yes. I'm in her spot. All right. Your value proposition is a unique, memorable, and persuasive statement that expresses the true value of working with you.
Excellent. Isaac, go for it.
Addresses the specific and special needs of the buyers and sellers in your market.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go ahead and do both of them.
Okay.
States what you will do for your client and earn your commission/fee and holds
Mhm.
you accountable to high standards.
Super. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. So um this is important. This is basically like look at the words that they highlight. Unique, memorable, persuasive, specific and special needs, and what you will do and accountable, right? And so remember when we looked at our belief systems from the Y14C2Ts, is commitment. So commitment in all things. So ultimately, this is a commitment to your client that you are going to fulfill their needs. All right, here we go. Okay, so top agents can easily explain what services they will provide to anyone who hires them. It's kind of like this is kind of like your I can't talk. Elevator statement. Like if you are in an elevator with someone and you are trying to have a conversation with them and tell them your value and you only have um, you know, less than a minute to be able to explain what value you bring, are you able to do that at a drop of a pin right now? Like, So that's what we're going to work on. Like, this is going to be a punchy statement that states, this is what I do, this is why I'm passionate about doing it, and this is my promise to you. So, that's what we will work on. And so I do have a question for you guys. Why is it important to define your value proposition?
It gives people the ethos of who you are.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And everything that we just kind of talked about, it's like you're letting them know how you can show up for them with your promises to them. Going back to this, it expresses the true value of working with you. It addresses their needs, it addresses what you will do for them, and it holds you accountable. It's like an accountability statement, right? All right. So the benefits of a value proposition, it helps your clients understand your value and expertise, protects your commission and fee, and builds strong and trusting relationships. And actually, I do want to go back to this. When we talk about like protecting your commission and fee, it helps you stand out from the competition. Because can you imagine, like, if you're up against someone else for a listing, you're competing for a listing, and you know what your value is, you know what your promise is to them. In a way, you're protecting your commission, and they can see that you are confident in what you do and what your promise is to them. And then build strong and trusting relationships. When I express to my clients my promise to them, they feel taken care of, they feel safe. But if they have no idea what they can expect from me, then it's challenging. People want to feel safe. They want to work with people that they feel safe with, that they can trust. And this value proposition definitely touches on those things. Okay, so here are some examples of value propositions. Airbnb. Airbnb exists to create a world where anyone can belong anywhere, providing healthy travel that is local, authentic, diverse, inclusive, and sustainable. Walmart. Everyday low prices for a broad range of goods that are always in stock in convenient geographic locations. Slack. Slack makes it downright pleasant to work together. Grammarly. Great writing simplified. Compose bold, clear, mistake-free writing with Grammarly's AI-powered writing assistant. QuickBooks. Send invoices in minutes and get paid 2 days faster. State Farm. Here to help life go right. So a couple questions for you. What makes these value propositions successful? You can pick one or a couple, but what makes them successful?
They're short and punchy, but they state like they state what they bring, I guess. Does that
Yeah,
make sense?
yes, it does. So it poses a challenge and it gives a solution, or it gives the solution to a challenge. Like, for instance, QuickBooks, you get paid 2 days faster. Maybe the challenge is, oh, I have to wait. Well, the benefit is getting paid 2 days faster. It also touches on feelings. Some of them are like Slack makes it downright pleasant. Ooh, wouldn't you want to work with something that is pleasant to work with or inclusive where anyone can belong anywhere? Or if you're looking for convenience, they use like these words. So just make a mental note of like, what is the challenge that, what is your superpower and what's the challenge that you believe that you can help your clients overcome? What are you good at? And it doesn't have to be real estate related. Like, what are you really good at? Just kind of like let that marinate in the back of your mind as well. Okay, so I want you to refer to your participant guide. And so far in Ignite, we've discussed your value that is enhanced by being part of KW and what it means to serve as a fiduciary for your client and the importance of being a market expert. So let's connect on what we've learned so far for your value proposition. If you don't have your participant manual in front of you, no worries. Just if you have a pen and paper, if you write it down or mentally marinate on this. How does being part of the Keller Williams family bolster your personal value proposition? That's one question. What do you guys think?
With KW being the largest brokerage, we have a lot of resources and help within the brokerage itself to make sure the transactions go smoothly.
Beautiful. Excellent. Yeah. Wow, it's like you read it out of my book. It says it says I'll read it to you because you covered a lot of it. Being an agent with Keller Williams means you have access to command, which allows you to streamline the entire real estate transaction, thus providing a seamless experience for your clients. Yeah. You have a wealth of resources. It's not just technology. You have agents, like a plethora of experienced agents at your fingertips. Like you have support. You have a team. If you're solo, you have a team, right? You're on a team now. If you're in PC coaching, guess what? You're on a team and leverage that team. Okay. Next one. How does your value proposition relate to serving as a fiduciary for your clients? So remember, being a fiduciary, you're putting your client's best interests above all else. So while serving as a fiduciary, you simultaneously raise your level of service and the value you provide to your clients, which is what exemplifies your value proposition. And last question. How does being a market expert, we touched on being a market expert yesterday, remember? How does being a market expert add to your value proposition? What do you guys think? Or throw out some words that are associated with being a market expert. I,
You have
yeah, go ahead, Jeremy.
you have in-depth knowledge of not just Anchorage, but the neighborhoods itself,
Mm-hmm.
and can help them get an idea of where they're at without breaking the code of ethics, of course.
Oh, precisely. Yeah. And really, you have your finger on the pulse of the market.
I like that.
I love that phrase. if you use that, I love that phrase. Hey, look, I'm dedicated to becoming an expert in my field, so much so that I have my finger on the pulse of the market. And with this knowledge, I can help guide you. And that way, guide you towards and then whatever their goals are, right? So when you have your finger on the pulse of the market, the knowledge you glean and share with your clients is part of your value proposition. This is because whatever you learn will help you in guiding your clients make the best decisions. So that's huge. Good. Okay. And then what other knowledge, attitudes, skills, excuse me, or beliefs do you process or do you possess that may help you stand out as an agent? Isaac, what kind of skills, attitudes, or beliefs do you have that will help you stand out?
Um, Probably like determination to find like the answer.
Yep, absolutely. I remember you told me I've got drive. I'm determined. I'm determined to help make this a win-win. I'm determined to help you get what you want. However you need to finish that sentence. Yeah, lean in on those superpowers. Great job. Kelsey, how about you? What other attitudes, skills, or beliefs can you bring?
Well, for me, I spin a lot of my stuff of being born and raised right here off of Seward Meridian.
Hmm.
So I talk a lot about like what used to be in certain places or certain routes you can take to avoid traffic. I literally grew up right there in downtown Wasilla when the old Sadler's was originally a Walmart and then turned into a Sears. And so I
Wow.
talk a lot about that, how much the valley has grown and changed.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know, I kind of just, I always make it fun. And with my clients, we send an offer and I'll just make like fun movie jabs of like, may the odds be ever in your favor. But I kind of just bring a fun take on a lot of
Oh, I
things.
love that. Yes. Yes. That's awesome. Very good. Okay. So also looking back at like if you guys are new to real estate, which most of you are, what did you do before real estate? And what were your superpowers there? Maybe you worked in sales or marketing. Um, you know,
I actually did
or-
both of those.
yeah,
I was in
exactly.
sales for Cellular One back when it was the kiosk inside Walmart, and then they
Wow.
got bought out by AT&T. And T. And then after that, I went into marketing at Matt Valley Federal Credit Union for 4 years. So
Yeah. Yeah. So look, hey, I've got a robust sales history. Before being in real estate, this is what I did. Absolutely. Or if you invested in real estate or you come from a family of investors and look, it's in your blood. You've lived it, you talk it, whatever. Or whatever that is. Um or like if you come from a financing background or accounting or business, whatever you feel that um is relevant that will express your value moving forward. Okay. So we're going to connect your value to your value, KW and market center value. So I have access to collective knowledge. We touched on this, an experience of nearly 200,000 agents worldwide. You really do. Um, if you're not part of like a group where there's networking groups within KW on Facebook, highly recommend that you look into that. They have like bold groups. They have groups for young professionals. They have um yeah, different types of KW groups that I can point you towards. There's one called the Inspire Collective with James Shaw, and he has a podcast and a Facebook group. Highly valuable information there, guys. So I'll point you in that direction as well. Also, as a fiduciary, I can point you to reputable resources for service providers such as handymen, window washers, tax associates, and financial advisors. So we are the fiduciary. We're the ones who, hey, you know what? I've got a guy for that, you know? That's what I want to say. I got a guy for that. You've got resources at your fingertips. And if you're like, I don't have a guy for that, guess what? You're part of KW. Yes, you do. If you're not posting on Facebook, like if you should all be on the Facebook KW forum, um, on there we collaborate. Hey, does anybody have like a good snowplow person here in Wasilla? You see people reaching out, or sometimes we'll get messages privately. Yes. And oops, sorry, I went a little too fast. Start to build your resources. So you are acting as a fiduciary. Um, and then the market expert, hey, I can help you price your home to sell because I'm very tuned into the market of the moment. That's something we covered yesterday, being that market expert. Okay, any ahas, any thoughts? And I want you guys to start thinking about this, thinking about like it's important to think about like, okay, what inspired you? What did you hear that you didn't think about before? And maybe what will you start implementing? How has your thinking changed here? And what are your ahas about the importance of having a strong value proposition?
Like you said earlier, it's the best way for somebody first time being able to get your ethos and see who you are as a person.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Great. Okay, super. We will keep going. Okay, next we're going to cover what matters to buyers and sellers. Okay, so the purpose of real estate for buyers. Jeremy, I'll go ahead and have you read for buyers.
For buyers, their goal is to find just the right home, at best, at the best price, in the right time, with the least number of problems.
Right? Absolutely. Isaac, can you read for sellers?
Their goal is to net the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time with the least number of problems.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, what happens to buyers and sellers if you don't understand the purpose the purpose of real estate for the buyers and sellers? So, like, what happens to your clients' buying or selling experience if you don't understand the purpose of real estate for buyers and sellers? What
You're
kind
not
of,
going to gain their trust.
yeah, huge. Like their experience starts to go downhill if you really, really don't understand. And oftentimes, like really, really take a look at this. Like even when and hopefully you just really keep this ingrained. Like for buyers, their goal is to find their next nest, right? And at the best price, in the right time, because what's their time frame? We always want to be like, okay, what are you looking for? Where are you looking for it? How much can you afford? And then real estate in itself can be very stressful. So with the least number of problems, we really want to be sure to be that guide. And remember, we talked about being a fiduciary. And being a fiduciary means that we're thinking almost several steps ahead rather than being functionary. Because a fiduciary is going to anticipate any issues that arise and think ahead. That's your fiduciary duty. Rather than be like, oh crap, like this happened. And then now knee-jerk reaction. I mean, sometimes those things do happen, but can we think ahead and prep our clients with communication? Because that's all they need. They need hand-holding, they need communication, they need someone to guide them, they need someone who is an expert at their trade to be able to help them see the potential pitfalls up ahead, right? Same with sellers, but in a different context. They want to net the most amount of money. Like, hands down, that's usually the most important thing. Um, but not always. I have clients who are like, I don't care. I just need to get it sold now. Maybe that becomes the most important thing to them, right? And then also, do you notice there's a common thread here with the least number of problems? So we want to make sure to guide them um, through their transactions. And here's the magic phrase. The magic phrase is, all right, Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, this is where we're at now, and this is what you can expect to happen next. And then beyond that, this and this and this may happen. But don't worry, when we get to the next milestone, we'll talk about where we're at and what the next few steps are beyond that, right? So if you make that common practice, look, as we're going through Ignite, I give you these like little tidbits to practice. Like practice it with your partner, practice it with your kids, practice it with family members or other work coworkers or peers or whatever. Like, hey, this is where we're at now, and this is what you can expect to happen next. Like, see how the energy changes as far as expectations. All right. Okay. The top 10 service areas of buyer value proposition. All right. We have a needs analysis, pre-qualification or pre-approval, neighborhood information, home search, make an offer, negotiating to buy, vendor coordination, pre-close preparation, closing and post-closing. So this is, again, the top 10 service areas of the buyer's value proposition. For sellers, it's similar, but usually it starts also with a needs analysis, like what's important to them. But then it changes a bit because we're going to pricing strategy. And it's always strategy. Want you to adopt like this vocabulary because we can make pricing recommendations, but I'd like to change the language to pricing strategy. Why? Because the market will let us know if we need to make adjustments. And the strategy can change with your client's needs. Do they need like a sell now price? Or are they okay like watching to see what happens with the market? So it just depends. We definitely want to set them up for success. Property preparation. How are we preparing the property to get it listed? Because it is a beauty contest. And sometimes we have control over it, sometimes we don't. Do the seller need to declutter? And then marketing strategy. How are we going to market the property for sale? And then once we receive an offer, great. How are we negotiating from there? and then selling it. And then the pre-close preparation. Pre-close preparation may be prepping the sellers on, okay, great, now we're getting closer to closing. These are things that we need to make sure to get ready, like make sure that you're packed up, make sure that, utilities are transferred, um, but also making sure that the house is clean. And then you get to closing. What can they expect at closing? And are you communicating that to your client? We'll cover all of this in more detail, but these are the value propositions that you can take advantage of when discussing your value proposition. And then post-closing, you'll maintain communication. Maybe after they close, a week after they close, hey, I just wanted to check in. How are you doing? What are their next few steps beyond that? And how can you be of service to them? Okay, so here's a graph from NAR to help us understand, like, what do buyers want most from their agents? So the top response we see at 52% is to help find the right home to purchase. That's what they want. They want an agent to help them find the right home. And um, next we see like help buyers negotiate the terms of the sale at 13%, help with the price or negotiations, right? That's 11%, and other. So what's interesting here, and this is what I'm noticing, sometimes they just need someone to help them find their right home, the very next home. So if you're looking at this, can you take data from this towards what value can you bring? Do you have like are you like a bulldog when it comes to negotiations? You enjoy negotiations? Well, claim that as your superpower. One is help with the price negotiations, help the buyer negotiate the terms of the sale, or helping find the right home. It seems like the majority they just want you to help them find the right home. So so you just kind of tap into what pool you'd like to be able to go into. Mm, all right, let's keep going. Okay, here's another interesting one. Factors buyers value when choosing an agent. Um, and there's something I'll never forget when first learning about, okay, well, great. Where do I find these people to help my future clients? They always said, people just want to work other with agents that they feel like they trust, that they can trust you, that they like you and trust you. And I'm like, oh wow. So figuring out what your superpower is, how do you connect with people? This is a relationship business. That's what it is. How do you connect with people? How do you make friends? And everybody does it differently. And I will talk to the introverts out there. Like, how do you make friends? Go find your people. Or if you're like, I don't like people. That's a challenge. This is a people business, so we really need to know how to connect with people on their level. So here, like 20%, buyers want to work with someone who's honest and trustworthy. And then at 19%, an agent's experience. I, s- I, I will tell you, like, very rarely do I have anybody ask me how long I've been in the business. My first year in business, no one asked me that. No one asked me how long I was in the business. They just knew that I was eager to help. I showed up. I was friendly. I wanted to know all about them. And if I didn't know, I would research it and get them an answer. And then at 17%, you see here that um, buyers value reputation. That'll work in your favor, like further down the line, but right now, as new licensees, just work with people who like you. Get to know people, stay curious. That was one of the biggest things we talked about early on this week was to stay curious and ask questions. Okay, what sellers most want from their agents? To help price homes competitively, help the seller market their home to potential buyers, help sell the home within specific time frame, and help the seller find ways to fix up the home or sell it for more. What's your observation here?
It sounds like marketing is a big deal for them,
Hmm.
with price and, just making sure to get in front of buyers is a big thing for them.
Absolutely. So, do you all have, I want you to make note of any like skills or services that you offer that align with what buyers want, right? And then also what skills and services that you offer that align with what sellers want. And go ahead and make a note on that. If you have your participant guide, go ahead and fill out any skills that you can offer either buyers or sellers. All right, I'm going to keep going. All right, so here we're looking at factors that sellers consider when choosing an agent. Remember, we had talked about an agent that's honest and trustworthy. That was the majority. That was the biggest answer for buyers. Here for sellers, it seems like reputation is most important. And then after that, that the agent is honest and trustworthy. And then beyond that, 17% agent is a friend or family member. In the other category, this 44%, that includes an agent's knowledge, that the agent has a caring personality or is a good listener. That was at 5%. Agent's commission at 4%. This is percentage of this 44% that's right here. So this comprises of all of these, or that an agent's association with a particular firm or brokerage. That's at 4%. Or that an agent seems 100% accessible because of use of technology like a tablet or smartphone. That's 3% of that 44. And professional designations held by an agent. That was at 1%. So pay attention to what's happening here. Reputation. How are you going to put your reputation out there? What are some ways that you can put yourself out there as a market expert? What avenues can you do that? I can think of two. Kelsey, what are some ways that we could demonstrate our reputation as an agent?
Well, getting reviews helps a lot, but also, I mean, for me, it's a lot of word of mouth, like past clients or friends sharing my information and, speaking on my behalf.
Beautiful. Yes. And so one of the things that came to mind was social media. And I'm going to piggyback off of what Kelsey said. If you have not sold any real estate, why couldn't you get a review from friends or family? Or if you are dual career and you're working now, like why would someone recommend that people work with you?
Also, when I first started,
Mhm.
people are so curious, like, oh, what's the market doing? And they would ask you about that and you would share your knowledge on that. You can ask for a review just based off of that. Like, did I explain that well? It doesn't have to be about selling a house, just about you and your knowledge can
Yeah,
do it too.
absolutely. Absolutely. And I think it's important to ask for these reviews and be able to point them in a direction to leave a review, or even if they sent you an email with like, hey, this is why I highly recommend Kelsey because she is knowledgeable on the market and she's friendly and easy to talk to, whatever. Like, start to collect these from people who know, like you, and want to help you succeed. Those are the easiest people to ask for testimonials and reviews. And then next, I would suggest, you know, putting it out there on social media. It's showing your reputation, or um, you're demonstrating that you are reputable because you're sharing your knowledge of the market. So maybe if you're doing, a review of what the market looks like. We talked about that yesterday, and I gave you some ideas for social media. So, and then as you start to close deals, being able to be like, hey, congratulations to our buyers. Wow, um, what a journey. We were able to close this for you, and congratulations on your next chapter. So you're showing that you're reputable because you're closing deals. So there are a ton of ways we can do that. Some people do mailers when they're have a new listing coming up. They will send mailers to the neighborhood, to the neighbors, saying, "Hey, we've got this new listing coming up. This is an opportunity to choose your neighbor, right? Who do you know that's interested in moving into the neighborhood?" I mean, if you're staying top of mind, that's really important. Okay, so here these are factors that sellers consider when choosing an agent. We kind of touched on that, the reputation, that the agent is honest, and or if an agent is a friend or family member. We go from here what factors sellers consider when choosing an agent, and then it's just, oops, I went too fast. hmm Okay, we'll keep going. Okay, um, so referring to your participant guide, Keller Williams is committed to adding to your value proposition. So in today's market, that means investing in technology that propels your business forward. So basically, you have you have the power at your fingertips. When you are logged into Command, you have the ability to use smart plans. And what a smart plan is basically it is a plan where you can actually create a schedule of touches. Um, there are some that are already prepared and others that you can build yourself. So a smart plan can send you a reminder of, hey, you need to call this person, maybe send them a text. Hey, maybe next is an email, and then you can prepare that in advance so that way these reminders will come up or emails will automatically go out in the order that you have it set up as. Um, And so basically, smart plans will track your contacts and leads with customized intelligence and build deeper, more meaningful relationships with your entire sphere. You also have the KW app. So it's an end-to-end consumer app using the power of AI, machine learning, and your expertise to communicate, provide transaction transparency because you're able to turn on a feature where they're able to see where things are at in the transaction. So you can, I suggest you kind of play around with this with yourself first so you can see how to navigate it before using it with clients. Others might choose to like turn it off and be able to like communicate verbally, but really you should be communicating with them verbally either way. Um, and then also reminds your clients of your value well after they've closed on the home. Agent sites, you're able to create like your own website and it allows contacts to save searches for homes, allows agents to create searches on behalf of contacts and clients. All right. So this is how you can incorporate technology. And one way we can incorporate technology into our value proposition is saying, like, with my innovative technology, I meet you where you are. We can handle most of our transactions through your phone or laptop. It's all about convenience for you. All right. Okay. So, um, any ahas about what matters most to clients? Anything new for you guys? Go ahead.
Yeah, the recognition of what like sellers are looking for in an agent was really interesting.
Mhm.
Uh, I've been working mostly with buyers, so it really is trust and charm. Um, but I do like how it I was able to recognize that sellers are looking for more of a business marketing perspective when it comes to agency.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing. Okay, next we're going to dive into defining your value proposition. Okay, so 3 steps to define your value proposition. Um, Kelsey, I'll have you read the first one. Isaac, can you read number 2? And Jeremy, number 3.
Sorry, I was trying to hit unmute. Identify your knowledge, attitudes, skills, and beliefs that make you qualified to be a great real estate agent.
Mm-hmm. Isaac, if you're available.
Uh, Transform the value you provide and the value of Keller Williams in your market center into benefits for your clients.
Excellent.
Build your value proposition statement.
Mm-hmm. Great. And so we're going to go into detail on these. So your value proposition, step 1, identify your knowledge, attitude, skill, and beliefs that make you qualified to be a great real estate agent. So we're going to break it down. Questions for you all to ponder on. What knowledge do I bring to the job? Perhaps, we talked about maybe you have experience in accounting, maybe you have business background, maybe you came from the service industry or finance, or you worked in construction, or you have a great knowledge of homes, home building, codes, etc. I want you to think about that. What knowledge do you bring? So you have a chart in the participant guide with attributes, right? I want you to start like, and if you don't have your participant guide in front of you, I want you to just write down what knowledge do you bring to this business? Next, we're going to cover attitudes. What attitudes am I bringing to this job? Perhaps you consider yourself caring, confident, committed, honest, etc. What attitudes am I bringing to the job? Write those down. And what skills do I offer? Perhaps you're a tech whiz, and you're able to help others learn and use tech. Or you're great at negotiating and problem solving. Or you're a great listener or a great researcher. And what beliefs do I offer? Equity, integrity. What beliefs do you offer? And after you've written these down, circle the attributes that align with what buyers and sellers value. And then put a star next to the attributes that show how you stand out from the crowd. What makes you stand out? And this is an important step because this is helping you, this will help you build your value proposition. So think about what knowledge, attitude, skill, and belief are you bringing to the table? All right, we'll move on to step 2. Transform the value you provide and the value of KW and your market center into benefits for your clients. Okay. Your value proposition statement expresses the value you provide in language that makes it relevant to your clients. So I want you to think through how your knowledge, your attitude, your skills, your beliefs can be beneficial to your clients. And many of your life experiences can be relevant in real estate. If you don't see it, look at it from another angle. Even if you haven't articulated it to yourself, you've already used your expertise or your experience to help others. Perhaps you were a teacher or a little league coach, or you have experience in helping others. How did your personal experience make you especially helpful? How could you use it in the future? When considering how to make it real estate relevant, think about what buyers and sellers say are most important factors to them. What was most important to them? For most of them, it was working with someone that they trusted, right? How do you build trust with others? Now think through the value you receive from KW in your market center and how that could be beneficial to your clients. And let's say the market center averages about like 98.3% of the listing price. When meeting with a potential client, you could share that statistic with them, but really it doesn't convey like the full scope of your value to the client. So instead, you can say you get the best sales price for your home um, due to my thorough training and negotiation. Or I can help you get top dollar for your home because of my thorough training and negotiation. Or I've got excellent skills in negotiation, right? You can also think about the services you offer that are made faster, more convenient, and more accurate when you use KW technology, such as Command or the KW app, if that's important to you. If it's not, then you don't have to put that down. So there are two charts in your participant guide. The first chart is related to the value that you provide, and the second chart is related to the value that they receive from KW and the Market Center. Take a moment to fill that out. And if you don't have your participant guide in front of you, writing down what's the value that you provide to your clients. And now we'll move on to step 3. You're going to build your value proposition. So the strongest value proposition for your client combines the value you offered, backed by the value offered by KW and your market center. And remember, it's not about perfection. We're just putting pieces together. You can also use, as far as like your market center, you've got resources, you've got, a team of agents that um, you've got resources, you've got um, knowledge, a deep knowledge base in your team. And then your value proposition is also likely to change. So it might not always stay the same. And it'll change as you learn new skills and you gain more experience as an agent. So you can start to build your value proposition using a couple of the benefits that you wrote down in step 2 and start to build it and put it together. And just take a few minutes to do that. Remember, step 2 was talking about the value. You're transforming the value you provide and the value of KW and your market center. Step 1 was Identify your knowledge, attitudes, skills, and beliefs that make you qualified to be a great real estate agent. So we're going to put those together. Okay, so what I have pulled up here is your participant manual. So if you don't have it in front of you, this is what we're looking at. Step 1. What are some of your attributes, your knowledge? What are some of your attitudes? What are some of your skills? Your knowledge, your attitudes, your skills. What are some of your beliefs? And listing those. You're circling what aligns with buyers and sellers, and you star the attributes that show how you stand out as an agent. Once you've done that, then step 2, you take this, an example, like integrity. How does that benefit your client? Or if you are committed or you have drive, how does that benefit your client? Write that down. And then here, Keller Williams and the Market Center. What's an example? Choose an example of how KW and the Market Center, the value that you receive from them to be able to share with your client. Hey, and with the KW app, from appointment to close, the KW app's features provides opportunities to stay connected. And then step 3, we put it all together. So you combine a client benefit from each table that you wrote in step 2 to create a value proposition. So an example, as you navigate your real estate transaction, I provide service that's dedicated and personalized to your needs by using the KW app to stay connected with you. Do you have to use something regarding KW technology? No. But I want you to start to formulate your value proposition. How's everybody doing? Does anybody want to share what they're observing or seeing at this time? Or what you've built so far?
So we worked on value propositions earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm kind of taking what you said and kind of twisting it towards a buyer's and seller's presentation.
Excellent.
Um, so yeah, I got a listing presentation one kind of finished. So
Wonderful. Would you mind sharing? Do you feel
yeah,
comfortable sharing it?
yeah, that's perfect. So I bring the spirit of Alaska and the power of Keller Williams to your doorstep. My practice is built on three pillars: adventure, community, and education. I don't just list homes, I use creative marketing and deep market expertise to solve problems before they happen. With an adaptable spirit and a commitment to mastery, I deliver clarity, confidence, and a win win experience. I handle the complexities so you can enjoy the results.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Beautiful. And you can dial that in to also be a bit more concise. And so that's something I really I think it says a lot. And also when we get down to it, like this is your elevator speech. Can we condense it into three lines, three sentences? Like picking what's most important. So that way the message isn't lost. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, and that's kind of what I'm working on too, is
Beautiful.
something quicker because I think I talk too much sometimes.
No, you're sharing your heart and it's great. Super. Anybody else? Anybody else want to share some of their attributes? This is not about perfection. This is about let's start discussing and putting things together.
I'll go. So far with taking all the key points and kind of building something up to go off of. So
Yep.
far, I have growing up in Wasilla, AK. I know this community like the back of my hand. I'm dedicated to helping you find your dream home or sell your property for the best price. Let's work together to turn your real estate adventure into a truly rewarding experience.
Sweet. I like it. It's like to the point. Like this is, and so it sounds like you bring knowledge. Read it to me again because I want to pull some of your attributes from it. Read it again.
Okay. Open it back up. Growing up in Wasilla, Alaska, I know this community like the back of my hand. I'm dedicated to helping you find your dream home or sell your property for the best price. Let's work together to turn your real estate adventure into a truly rewarding experience.
Mm. I love how you said in the very middle, you're going to help them and how. And then at the very end, their real estate adventure. Um, I would I would get more specific with their real estate adventure, the adventure of buying or selling. Because real estate adventure can mean many things. So I would include
Well, for me,
Mhm.
adventure is like my main hashtag that I have
Mhm.
done. I do AK Venture for all of my posts
Okay.
because I post a lot of our airboating, our snow machining, and
Hmm.
everything. So I like to use adventure in everything that I'm putting out there.
Yes.
Um, but also, I'm doing a lot of marketing towards rural properties
Got
with
it.
my cabin and everything. So I'm trying to
Understood.
stick with that.
Oh, understood. Okay, thank you for clarifying. Yes, then that's beautiful. Because adventure could mean a lot of things. Good. Yeah, and I guess you did touch on helping them navigate towards the middle. Yeah, I like it. Good. Anybody else? Isaac, what do you have put together so far?
I was a little preoccupied to make a statement, but
Mhm.
I know some attributes of mine.
Yeah,
So like
please.
I coached high school football for like a year, so like I feel like I'd be good at teaching and explaining real estate
Mm-hmm.
if I
Yeah,
like knew the knowledge.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Good. So some of that coaching, what are some attributes that you acquired from coaching?
Probably like communication and problem solving.
Beautiful. Absolutely. That's great. I would take that and lean into that. Beautiful. Jacob, are you available? I know you guys have been under the weather, and if not, totally okay. And we've got Suki here too. I know you're busy with the little one too, but just checking in. Okay. All right. So it is 10:15. Let's take a 5-minute break. We'll come back at 10:20. So we'll go ahead and take a 5-minute break and we will resume here shortly. Thanks, guys. Okay, beautiful. So we touched on building your value proposition and now you should have the parts, at least if you haven't completed it totally, you have the framework to be able to put this together. And this is important because when it comes time to meeting with clients for um like a buyer's consult, or they are interviewing agents to list their home. If you know what your value is, why you do it, and we start to commit to that, I think that's huge. I would also invite you to include your value proposition in your social media as your description. Like, why is it that you do this? People want to know and connect with you in some way. And how do you feel about what you've put together? Do you feel passionate about it? Do you feel like it truly describes who you are? And read it aloud to yourself several times to see if it makes sense. Sometimes hearing yourself read it out loud is an opportunity to receive feedback. Maybe having someone else read it aloud is a good opportunity to receive feedback as well. Okay. Okay. So, let us keep going. So each of you had an opportunity to be able to state your value proposition. Any ahas after this exercise, after building your value proposition? What is it that you notice? Any notices, any ahas on this?
That you have to find what's important to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, or you're defining what your superpower is, right? And you're sharing that with others.
I think it's also just a great thing to put into your daily mantras of
Mhm.
why you're doing this to
Yep,
yourself too.
absolutely. I would recommend writing it out and posting it, putting it on your refrigerator, put it other places. Like, what is the value that you're bringing to people? Why is it that you're doing what you're doing? When you when you're helping someone, even if it's not in real estate, let's say you're helping someone, um, how does it make you feel? That's what I really want you guys to just bring awareness every day. Like, oh man, like I just got an instant kind of like high gratification out of like doing this for someone. And what was it that you did? And it's not just for you. It's like, mm, what's the difference that you're creating in their world, right? And what attributes, what skills, what emotions did you bring to it? Mine is I have a passion for educating and guiding my clients, mm, with integrity and heart. So for me, it's very, very important that I connect to people on a heart-to-heart level. Like I will dig deep with people and know like what is what's important to you? Why is that important to you? Or reading between the lines. Ah, I notice something underneath, something you're not telling me, and let's figure out what's going on here. I want to be that safe place for people. And my superpower is to help guide and teach. So mine actually may change quite a bit because I'm in a teaching role, but I'm also teaching my clients. I teach my clients and I also teach you guys. You all are new or newer-ish. So I enjoy guiding you and being that trusted resource and leading you with integrity and giving you a safe place to be like, oh my gosh, life feels messy right now, or this is overwhelming, or celebrating your successes, all of those things. And it's also important to me that you, those of you who are in PC program, and my clients feel my heart. That I'm here to like be super proud of you and to cheer you on and to also educate you and sometimes also to tell you like, hey, here's reality and this is what I see. So, mm, and also I want you to pay attention to what do people tell you? What do people tell you about yourself that you're like, what? Like, nah. Or, oh yeah, like I guess that is me. I'll use an example. Um, in my real estate career, I'm guiding people, I'm listening, life is happening, things are stressful, they're breaking down, or they had a tough week, or they'll blow up, and then we'll touch base the next day, and they're like, I'm so sorry, I yelled at you. Um, and what am I? Steady hand. We just stay steady, right? We let things move through us. It's not ever about us. What's happening in their world is happening in their world. And it feels real and it's stressful. But if we're that steady hand and we just show up the same every day, so I have had people say, I feel like you're my therapist. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel grateful for that, but I chuckle because I'm just very calm and I listen. And that's one of my superpowers. So listen carefully to what people say about you, and that'll give you hints on what you are. Like that's their perception of you, and maybe it's something that you can look at. Okay? All right. So here we go. This class, by the way, was a fairly quick one because really we wanted to dive deep into your value proposition. So what we'll cover right now is, you know, answering any questions. How are you going to apply this? And maybe we'll talk about command a little bit. Um, but then we'll get wrapped up a little early because what I'd like you to do is to make your calls. Remember, there's a commitment to your success system. Having 10 conversations, 10 contacts added to command, right? So the goal is to have by the end of Ignite to have at least 200 contacts added to command. 10 handwritten notes daily. So if you're having 10 conversations with people, you should be writing 10 handwritten notes. And then the 10-5-1 social media engagement. Just as a reminder, the 10 is 10 likes, 5 comments, and then 1 direct message and or social media post. So social media engagement, again, 10 likes. So like, follow 10 of them. 5, you're going to comment on people's posts. It doesn't have to do with real estate. It could be anything. Like if you're part of a hikers in Alaska group or whatever it is, do that. And then the 1 DM, like if somebody's asking a question, this is how some people in social media who really rock social media do well. If they're part of a group and someone is like, "Hey, I'm looking for, does anybody have a good babysitter or a good dog walker or a good this?" If you happen to have the answer to that, you can DM them, direct message them, and be a resource. It does not have to be about real estate, but eventually, if they become friends with you or they are friends with you, they'll be reminded that you are in real estate. But this is engagement. And then the enrichments. All right, so let's let's actually back up. Let's go ahead and for those of you that are that have been here this week, let's just check in. I will start with you, Kelsey. Did you do your 10 conversations yesterday?
Yes, I did.
Super. And tell me about, did you add 10 contacts?
I'm just going through. I've already added all my contacts, so I'm just going through and focusing on 10 that I'm updating as far as like cross-examining them to Facebook, getting their birthdays,
Good.
looking in Matsu property search to see if any of them have actually like already moved.
Uh-huh.
And stuff like that. So I'm just updating them and then I'm just touching base with those specific 10. So just checking in on how's life, what have they been up to, stuff like that.
Beautiful. And then tell me about the handwritten notes. Have you gotten to that?
Yes, I did 5 of those yesterday.
Okay.
But yeah, I only got to 5 handwritten notes.
All right. And then social media engagement. Did you do your 10-5-1?
I did. And then I also posted the property I have for sale at Alexander onto Market, which also opened up on messenger messages.
Okay. Super. Beautiful. All right. Okay, let's take a look here. That's great. Thank you very much for sharing. All right, Jeremy.
Yes. So had my 10 conversations over social media and face to face. Still struggling on contacts, but updated some of them that I haven't talked to in a while with the face to face. And then 10 handwritten notes. Yeah, I wrote
Mhm.
some letters to my sphere, just thanking them for being part of my journey and whatnot, and thinking of me in the real estate um, perspective. And then I was able to get my social media done. I did a post on my goals for this month of getting 3 more clients. And I didn't really get into enrichments. Um, I ended up going to a wholesaler art show. So,
Okay, got it. Okay, no problem. Okay, sounds good. And so then are you committed to doing this for tomorrow?
yep.
Super. Okay, great. Thank you very much for sharing. Isaac, how's it going?
I did my phone calls and I called my cousin and he's
No.
selling his house, but he already has a real estate agent. So
Okay.
yeah,
All right. Very good. Well, good job on making the phone calls. You keep going. Sometimes that those things happen and we're just going to keep going, right?
yeah,
Great. Yeah, absolutely. And then did you add contacts to command?
yeah. I have 50 contacts in my command.
Excellent. Great job. And then, yeah, make sure to go through there and that you've filled out, their information or, hey, it's an opportunity for you to actually call them and get their address and make sure you have their email address and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Super. And then, did you have an opportunity to do any handwritten notes?
No, I didn't do any handwritten notes.
Okay. Okay. And then what about social media engagement? I know you're fairly new to social media.
Yeah, I made social media accounts. That's a big
Good.
step for me. But
Yes, great job. Yeah,
uh,
that's a great job.
yeah, and I followed a bunch of people.
Uh-huh. And are you on Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Yeah. And then yeah, get some ideas, like follow other people who are in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then you can just post about like, hey, I'm in this fantastic class, or post about, hey, I'm getting ready to host an open house. Again, um, yeah, and then just like other people's posts, you can comment on it. Um, and then you can DM someone. Just say, hey, just want to touch base. It's been a while. I'm on social media or whatever. Great, whatever you'd like to say to be able to find connection. All right. Cool. Um, okay, and then Jacob. And Jacob, again, I know you're probably busy with kiddos. We can connect later on that. All right. So as a reminder for tomorrow, we have um an enrichment with open houses. Bill Uri will be our guest speaker, and that will be in Anchorage. I will record it, um, and he has a wealth of information, so highly, highly recommend that you tune in. All right. Also, when you're making your calls, just again, a reminder to follow what's on the do not call registry, and we have information on that. When you're making your calls in the future, um, really tap into this affirmation. I engage every conversation in the spirit of contribution and people are happy to be in relationship with me. I engage every conversation in the spirit of contribution, and people are happy to be in relationship with me. And then in your manual, you have the ability to prepare your conversation list. So who are the next 10 people you're going to be calling? I'm going to escape out of this because I want to be able to show you what that looks like. So in your in your um, participant manual, this is where you can track your success. But also, here's your conversation sheet, writing down the name, phone number, email, or any notes as you have a conversation with those 10 people. Remember, you're going to call and make contact with as many people as possible. You're going to ask for the business. And if possible, if there's business, then ask for an appointment if it's a strong lead. Ask for referrals from each contact and offer your KW app to each contact and record your results below. But this is what you can do to prepare each day of like, that way you're not like, oh, who am I going to call? Write down the names of people that you're going to call that are in your phone right now. And then your opportunity to be able to get their email address, touch base on these items, and then write notes. And then after you've made your calls, this is when then you can go into command and you can update their contact information into command. Make sense? Beautiful. All right. So, let's see. Any successes, anything that we should, that I'd really like to be able to focus on this. It does not have to be real estate related. I would like to celebrate any successes that you've had this week and highlight that before we get off our call. So, any successes this week that you'd like to, this is your opportunity to brag on yourself.
I did gain 2 new clients,
Yay.
so very happy about that. Now I have 7 signed under contract, so that's why my goal is to
Wow.
get 3 more so I can get 10.
Yay. Bravo. Love it. Love it. Love it. Great job. Congratulations, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Jacob, are you available or maybe with kids? I know you're busy. Okay, we'll go to Isaac. Isaac, tell me a win, a success. What do you feel good about that you'd like to brag on?
We got a client for our cleaning business.
Yay! Congratulations.
Like,
That is awesome. That is beautiful. Way to go. So, I believe in you guys. I am super excited for the business that you're building. You have your value proposition. So definitely look at that, write it down, refine it, use it, when you're having discussions with people as to why you love what you do, um, and connect. So please make those 10 calls, and track your progress. Please, please, please make sure to put notes into your command and then go crush it. Okay. All right. Super. I will, let's see.